How much does it actually cost, on average?
For a general course?
For a general course.
For English students in England, and that's what I'm going to focus on. I put some more details for the rest of the UK, because that's where it's most expensive. Well, courses are up to £9,250 a year, so that's, what, £27,750 on a typical 3-year course, plus you get a living loan as well. So let's put the total amount that you'll have in your account, and I'll be explaining why I'm using my silly inverted commas later on, to getting on towards £50,000 typically. That's the cost.
That's the cost of...
Well, that's the price tag anyway.
Okay.
Not necessarily the same.
So where do you want to start in kind of making this clear?
Let's just go through what happens. You do not pay tuition fees as long as you're a first-time UK undergraduate. You get a loan from the student loans company. It pays the university for you. The money never comes to you. And you will then repay that after you've left university, only if you earn over £21,000. And you repay
Which you hope you will be if you're going to university.
But if you don't have... What I often get is, what if my child doesn't get a decent job that doesn't pay anything? Well, then you won't pay anything. But actually, that's not the hope. Not for everyone. Going to university isn't just about financial gain, it's about other gains.
So say you don't earn that £23,000 to start with, £21,000 to start with, and that loan just sits there, you don't have to pay it back. And then 10 years, 12 years later, 30...
30 years it wipes.
30
It wipes after 30 years. So you'll be repaying at 21,000. Hopefully they'll update it with average earnings. They froze it, which was, we haven't got time to go into today, but something I objected to quite substantially. Now, you repay 9% of everything you earn above £21,000. So if you earn £22,000, that's 1,000 above. 9% of that is £90 a year. If you earn £31,000, it's 10,000 above. 9% of that is £900 a year. What
cheapest loan you'll ever get.
Well, certainly the best repayment terms you'll ever get. It's repaid by the payroll, so you don't get the money and pay it. It's taken out before you get it, so there are no debt collectors coming to call on this one because it will be paid for you. Interest will be added to the amount you borrow. That interest rate is going up. It changes each year. From September, it'll be 3.1% is the underlying rate. But while you're at university, you pay 3.1 plus 3% because that's the rate of inflation, so about 6%. And after you leave, the rate you pay depends on how much you earn. So that's, in a broad nutshell, the main core points of it.
What if your parents want to help you? So as parents now, do you give your child some money for their living expenses? How can you help them? Still get the loan? Can you pay off their loan?
Well, there's another big point. Well, let's not even get that far. There's another big point I've been campaigning on. There is an official parental contribution. If you're under 25 and not declared an independent student, which is the vast majority of under 25s, well, you're old enough to vote, you're old enough to have sex, you're old enough to get married, you're old enough to make your own decisions, but you're not an independent adult in the student finance system. The amount of living loan you get is means tested based on family income, in other words, parental income. From £25,000 total family income up, you start to get less, up to £60,000 when it's halved. So that's your parental contribution. Now, what frustrates me, and I've written to the Minister about this, is parents aren't told. So what happens is you get your living loan offer, it'll say, here, you're getting £6,000. What it won't tell you is the full amount was £8,400 and you're meant to fill the gap. It doesn't tell you that. So what I suggest students do now, when you get your living loan, look at what the full loan you would have got if your parents earned less than 25 grand was. For example, if you're at home, it's £7,100 for students starting this year. £7,100, the full for people living at home. If you lived away from home in London, it's £11,000. And take away what you're getting from that maximum amount. I've put that on the website. And that's the expected parental contribution. And frankly, even then, it may still be a struggle to live. So my biggest problem with the system is actually loans aren't big enough, not they're too big.